Nearly. He's almost there. One thumb up. Two thumbs up. He's
finished. Do you know what? That wasn't bad chocolate tiffin, Maureen.
Great. Can we start the meeting now, please?
Hold on, Tom. We're yet to hear the verdict. Scores on the doors, Peter?
5, maybe a 6.
Out of 5, I hope.
I'm afraid.
Right, well, thank you, Mary Berry. Now, I think it's obvious what we need to discuss first.
Yes, these buckets of Allen's have had it. Look at the state of them. Rusting away, missing handles.
I think Tom was referring to why we have the buckets everywhere, Maureen. The leaks in the roof?
What's the latest, Alan?
Yes, it's what Emma said. Water's leaking in.
I know, but what are you doing about it?
I'm trying to fix it as best as I can, but, well, it's hard with 2 ladders gaffer taped together. What I could really do with is some scaffolding. Oh, and tiles. Yes, tiles as well.
Plum House by Ben Cottam and Paul McKenna. Episode 3. Trust the Trust.
Well, what about the plastic sheet suggestion, as a short-term measure?
We don't have any. Maureen's given me some carrier bags, but to be honest, I can't see that working.
This is an outrage.
He's doing his best, and the zip's bust on his cagoule.
Actually, I've used my cagoule to plug a leak now.
No, I don't mean Alan. I mean how we treat the great cultural treasures of this country. The French wouldn't tolerate water seeping into the Louvre.
Oh, they're very laid back, the French. My sister said the toilets at her campsite were in a terrible state.
If it gets much worse, they'll close us down like they did to Spindleton Hall.
I heard that wasn't anything to do with the roof. Apparently, the Trust sent one of their secret reviewers around the place, and he wrote a really damning report.
As a National Heritage Trust employee on secondment to this museum, can I just say now that we don't send out secret reviewers and shut museums down, honestly. But Emma's right, visitor safety does come first, and we need to get on top of this. So, how's the public appeal getting on? Emma, could you tip out the collection box?
Right, oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's £3.50. Oh, no, hang on, that one's €1.
The French coming to our aid.
£3.50? I spent more than that decorating the collection box.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, you'd think the public would be more generous.
No, I meant the box. She's just stuck a little glitter on the side.
Well, I don't want marks out of 10 again.
3, maybe...
Peter. I'm surprised the public hasn't responded to our story in a local paper.
Especially after that photo. Tom and I look like Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds, twirling our umbrellas.
I don't think the wet plums headline helped.
Anyway, this is becoming quite the emergency. We need to set up a special roofing committee. Call it the SRC, if you want, to come up with new ways to raise the money.
I like the sound of that, Tom.
Well, it's getting serious, Peter. We can't have the fabric of the museum compromised.
No, I mean the initials SRC. Sounds clandestine. A group of men meeting in the woods late at night. Halt! Who goes there? The SRC. Though, of course, I know very little of the cloak and dagger world. I often wonder what life would have been like if I'd accepted that offer from MI6.
Peter, will you please just concentrate on the matter at hand?
Sweet Agamemnon, son of Atreus. What on earth, that racket?
It must be a deaf person listening to some music.
God, Alan, you make a better door than a window. Move your big head.
Sorry, Maureen.
There's no need to push, Maureen.
Who's that?
I've never seen him before in my life.
He's getting out. Whistling.
Were we expecting somebody?
Not that I know of.
How strange.
Maybe he's lost. Look, he's got an umbrella.
The plot thickens. Now the plot's thick.
Guys?
What?
So aren't we missing something here? I mean, we are a museum, aren't we? Open to the public. So, think about it.
I don't...
Guys, it's a visitor.
Oh, come on.
I've a good mind to go downstairs and tell him we're busy today. Fancy just turning up out of the blue expecting a royal reception.
We didn't even give one of those to Prince Andrew. Completely forgot he was coming.
Now, we are never too busy to have visitors, Peter. They're always our most immediate priority.
Well, I'd best get back to the gift shop then and put those mouse mats out. We could do with flogging a few of them. They're starting to go mouldy. Might actually attract mice.
Good, Maureen, good. Would you mind giving our visitor a tour, Emma?
Oh, it would be my pleasure. It's been a while since I got to speak to someone from the outside world.
And, I guess you'd better crack on with emptying some of those buckets, Alan? They're nearly overflowing.
Oh, wouldn't worry about that. Most of them leak, so the water, it never quite gets to the top.
Right, and so what, the water goes all over the floor instead, does it?
I'll go and find some more buckets.
Good.
I should probably pop to the loo, then make Peter and myself some teas.
No, that's okay. I'll make them. You and Peter are not to leave this room until we've come up with a plan for fixing the roof.
Not even to use the facilities.
Okay, fine. You can have a quick toilet break, but then I need you to come straight back and for both of you to get your thinking caps on. Yeah, and that is not an excuse for the two of you to go and find actual hats again. As I said last time, that is just a saying.
I thought I looked rather good in that fez. Like an Ottoman janissary.
Hold on, Peter. I've just had a terrifying thought. You don't think our mysterious visitor is one of those secret reviewers from the Trust, do you?
Hey, what do you think you're doing? You can't just come in here when there's no member of staff in the gift shop.
Oh, sorry. Just the sign said you were open. I just wandered in.
But I wasn't in here, was I? Would you just wander into my house when I wasn't there, put my slippers on and eat me crumpets?
Oh, sorry, I didn't really mean to cause any trouble.
Well, just have a little think next time. Now, what are you looking for, love? I've got some cracking mouse mats on sale.
Well, truth be told, I just came in for a bit of a browse, actually.
Well, we don't like browsing. Buying, then you're talking. That's the ticket. Come on, what do you like the look of?
Well, this is a nice postcard. Oh, in fact, it's rather amusing. So I'd sooner be in the Lake District. That's very good.
You wouldn't if you had to pay council tax. £30 mine's gone up this year.
Oh, well, I think they mean on holiday, you know, rather than...
Oh, you've all the answers, you have. Right, that'll be 40 pence.
Oh, hang on. Not quite sure I want to buy it right now.
60 pence.
What I meant is, I might come back and get it later, after I've been round the museum, so I'm not carrying it about.
It's a postcard, not a breeze block. We might have sold out by then.
Well, you hardly seem rushed off your feet.
Well, I'll be waiting. I've had people make promises before and they've never come back.
Well, never come back.
Yes, I was here till midnight once, waiting for a nun to buy a colouring book. Miss Rosemary and Time. Had to make Alan search the place to check she'd definitely gone.
You must have scared her off.
What are you saying, love?
Nothing. I wasn't... Maybe I should go and have a wander around some of the other rooms.
Some people. So rude.
Why else would a man on his own turn up at a museum unannounced? He must have been sent here undercover by the Trust to review us.
Certainly sounds a great deal more feasible than that whole visitor suggestion Tom made earlier.
Oh, they've really tried to pull a fast one on us this time, Peter. Giving him an umbrella, putting him in trainers, trying to sneak him in under our noses.
But surely Tom would know if they were sending somebody to spy on us. He always seems to be abreast of this corporate management flim-flam.
Unless he's in on it as well.
What a terrifying thought. I think we need to subtly extract some form of confession from Tom before we jump to any conclusions.
Here we go, chaps.
Don't worry, Julian, I'll be discreet.
Right, tea for everyone. So, what ideas have you come up with?
Tom, I don't suppose you're working in cahoots with the Trust in sending a man undercover to review us and close down this fine museum?
Could have been a little more discreet, Peter.
Right, why do I get the impression you haven't been discussing the roof?
Sorry.
Crikey! Nearly got me that time.
Sorry, I didn't realise there was someone down there. I'm just trying to fix a leak.
No, it's probably my fault. I just thought you might have roped off this area. I don't like to say it, but have any word of health and safety?
I've heard those words, but never together like that.
Are they electricity cables going through the water? Oh, dear. Your ladder just seems to be two different ladders taped together.
Yes, they are, and yes, it is. Not ideal, is it?
Well, I don't want to be one of these people, fun police, but it all looks really quite dangerous. I mean, not just for members of the public, but actually for you, as a member of staff.
Oh, I'm a volunteer.
Well, yeah, that wasn't quite what I was
At
getting
least I was at the start, and then they had to pay me when all this minimum wage stuff came out.
Oh, well, that's good. What's it up to now?
I think Peter said it was £2.50 a day. £2 if it's raining. So I was usually getting £2. Still, good money. But then, after a while, Peter said they needed it all back. So now I'm just paying off my debts.
So, hang on. So they're making you work for free in dangerous conditions? Oh, goodness. goodness, I'd have a word if I were you.
But they do give me somewhere to stay.
Oh, okay, well, at least that's something.
It's a spot on the drive to park my car. By the time I've finished here, there's no point driving home, so I just catch 40 mins on the back seat.
40 winks?
No, 40 minutes.
Hello, I'm Emma.
Oh, hello, I'm Martin.
Can I interest you in a tour of Plum House at all?
Oh.
To be honest, we're a bit quiet at the minute, so it'll just be me and you, if that's all right.
Well, yes, terrific. Yes, I love a bit of one-on-one.
Oh.
Well, sorry, that came out wrong.
Yes. Tell you what, it's actually looking a bit clearer now. Why don't we start with the garden?
Well, maybe first one of us should hold the bottom of the ladder for this gentleman while he fixes that leak.
Oh, Alan's all right. He's tough as old nails. The last time he fell through the roof, he just carried on like nothing had happened.
It's amazing how much work you can get done when you're trying to take your mind off a broken leg. I thought about going to the hospital, but you don't want to make a fuss, do you?
There was a time, Tom, not all that long ago, where once a year I would take a train down to London and meet Sir Nigel at the Carlton Club. "Are you still open, Peter?" he would ask. "Yes," I would say. And that was it. That was our annual review.
For the last time, Peter, the man downstairs is not an undercover reviewer.
The writing was on the wall when Sir Nigel's successor asked me to meet him at the RAC Club instead. The RAC.
They'll be wanting us to meet online next, over the internet.
Heaven forbid.
I heard the new head of digital at the Trust was on over £1 million a year.
No, she's not. I promise you, the man downstairs is a visitor and not a reviewer. So please, can we just move on?
Fine.
Right you are. I now declare the inaugural SRC meeting open.
Great. Well, we're obviously here because we need funding for the...
Sorry, Peter, should I take the minutes?
I don't think that's going to be necessary.
Good idea, Julian. Best to keep on top of these things. The entire British Empire was built on paperwork.
Right, just need a pen and some paper.
We can remember everything. It's not going to...
No, I could do with it being lined paper, really.
Yeah, I think we might be taking this committee idea a little bit too seriously. I thought it could just be a handy to try and come up with a way to raise money for the roof fund, you know?
Well, about that, while you were at Kettle, Tom, and Julian Lavatory, I put in a few calls to some old friends of mine, and we've now got £700 in the pot.
Really? That's fantastic.
Excellent work, Peter.
Oh, you're both too kind. You'll make me blush like a milkmaid, you will. Oh, sir, you made me drop all this milk on the cobbles. The farmer will shout at me and...
Who donated the money, Peter?
We really must send them a thank you letter.
Nobody, in the end. Nobody actually picked up. Is it 9 one has to press for outside telephony?
Right, so where did the money come from?
I've moved it over from our electricity budget. I thought I'd just stick it in the pot to get us started, old chap.
Yeah, I don't think that really solves the problem, does it? That's just robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Or robbing Peter to pay Peter, in this case.
To be honest, I'm also a little surprised there was that much money in the electricity budget to start with.
Oh, we're always careful with our money, Tom. That's why we only bank with the best. Bearings. And the other one, the new kids in town.
Northern Rock.
And that little building there is the ice house, which is where Pudding kept his ice all year round.
Very cool.
Yeah. Still in use, actually, unless Alan's finally got round to fixing our fridge.
Right. Oh, look, there's two thrushes over there. I bet one's saying to the other one, "Look, 2 humans over there."
Yes.
I wonder if they have terms for us, you know, like we have for them, you know, flock and gaggle and swarm and all that. So, look, mate, a trouble of humans.
Perhaps. Although they are just birds.
Yes. Yeah. Very nice gardens, these. I've never quite seen planting like it before.
Gardens must have meant a great deal to him, as he still spent extravagantly on plants, even after he'd lost a large part of his fortune.
Oh dear. How did that happen then?
A disastrous attempt to bring the banana back to Cumbria. They were viewed with much suspicion by the locals. A last-ditch marketing attempt as Yellow Crescent potatoes failed to win them over.
Yellow Crescent potato. It's not very catchy, is it? Don't trip off the tongue.
No.
That's very sad. I tell you what, though, it's lovely and quiet out here.
It is. Gives you plenty of time to think about your life.
Yes.
Which isn't necessarily a good thing when you work at Plum House.
Well, I do love the peace of the lakes, the tranquility. Though in a weird way, I always get this feeling like I'm sort of being watched.
I wonder why that is.
Come on, Peter, it's my turn on the binoculars.
The suspect is walking back towards the house.
Great. Can we put them down now?
You heard him, Peter. It's Julian's turn.
No, that isn't what I meant at all.
Well, I'll tell you what, you get some duck eggs coming in here. But that fella this morning, he's the worst. Swanning round, broke into the shop, didn't buy out, starts telling me I scared a nun from buying a colouring book, criticising my customer service.
Did he now? Almost like a reviewer would, perhaps.
Oh, Julian seems to have this ridiculous notion that our visitor is an undercover reviewer from the Trust.
Of course he is.
What?
Peter, I've just had a bit of a shock.
You're telling me? I've just found out that poxy bloke's a reviewer from the Trust.
No, he's not. He's not a reviewer, Maureen.
I meant an electric shock. I can't stop my teeth chattering now. It's the whole water and electricity thing. It turns out to be true.
Well, what have I told you about being more careful, Alan? We don't want you kicking the bucket.
Oh, no, there'd be water everywhere then.
No, you know what?
He did say something about the health and safety here not being up to scratch, I think. I couldn't hear him very well, though. I was at the top of Old Wobbly. That's what I call me two ladders taped together, because they wobble.
I can't afford to lose this job.
Me neither, though I do seem to be paying to work here.
Wait, what?
Come on, Alan. We've got some making up to do.
Guess I'd better get some safety gear on. Show him that I know what I'm doing. Professional.
Oh, I like this one.
Yes, this is considered one of George Pudding's best paintings. You can actually sort of tell what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's a cow?
Well, it's a horse.
Horse?
But, yeah, close enough. I only know for sure because it's called My Best Painting of a Horse.
Oh, wow, look at these old skates. Were they George Pudding's?
Yes, he had these specially made to take into account the radically different length of each of his legs.
Ingenious. So he'd go skating on the lakes in winter?
He actually used to wear them to ruin the ballroom floors of people he didn't like, of whom there were many.
Oh, I see.
He was a very difficult man.
Yes.
Here he is, our number one visitor.
I'm sorry?
I made you a bit of lovely chocolate tiffin, fresh out of the oven.
Oh, really? Well, that's very kind of you. Wait, how much is it?
All on the house, free of charge.
Are you feeling all right, Maureen? Maybe you'd need a lie down?
And nothing wrong with me, love. Just keeping my usual high standards round here. Making sure every visitor leaves 110% satisfied.
Well, then, in that case, I don't mind if I do.
There we go. That's the spirit.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely homemade.
Would you like any more?
No, thank you.
Hello again.
Alan? Is that you under there?
I'd forgotten to put all of my safety gear on earlier, but now I've remembered it.
Are you wearing a pair of Peter's reading glasses?
Safety goggles. This old duster of yours, Maureen, is actually a mask to stop me breathing in, dust.
I'm going to have to whiz that later. It'll be full of your germs.
Now, I better go move all the wires away from the water and modern things like that. I'm sorry about the dangerous conditions before.
Oh, well, you know what they say. Better be safe than sorry.
He cracks me up, this one. Tears in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm going to continue giving Martin the tour.
Right, you are. I'm going to go and wrap up that postcard for you. Put it in one of those nice gift bags with all the ribbons.
Oh, well, yeah, it's just a postcard. I don't think I'll need to have it
Just
wrapped
in case. The customer's always right.
I cannot believe this is the point that we've got to.
I don't suppose you want to do P a big favour, do you, Tom?
Who's P?
Me, Peter. You know, like M. It's a code name. It was either that or Big Daddy Bear #1.
No, let's just stick with the former.
I think Tom might be a little too obvious, and we still don't know if he's a mole anyway. Maybe we could use Emma instead.
Oh, no. She reeks of the honey trap. She might attract bees. Too many bees and people get stung.
Well, this reviewer hasn't met you yet, has he, Peter?
Of course. Tinker, tailor, soldier, curator. I'm a master of disguise, and my wife has this blouse no red-blooded man could resist. If I were to pop it on...
No, I am deeply uncomfortable with where this is heading.
Yes, I didn't quite mean using you as a honey trap, Peter. I remember the last time you dressed up as a woman, your infamous turn as Jasmine in our most recent pantomime. Brown Owl says she's not bringing the brownies back ever again after your belly dance. Some of the girls didn't sleep all Christmas.
If one's going to do Aladdin, one really has to give it an authentic Middle Eastern flavour. I'll admit, though, that the Arabic dialogue was a step too far for the 7-year-olds.
Whoever we send needs to be a chameleon. Somebody who can effortlessly morph into your average Joe off the street and win our reviewers' trust. In fact, I think this is an assignment for one man and one man only. The name's Baxter. Julian Baxter.
Are we ever going to get back to the roof?
This is the kitchen. Obviously, the pots and pans probably gave that away.
Yes. So what sorts of meals were there cooked in here?
Oh, a lot of the usual foods of the day, but nearly always featuring his favourite fruit. George Pudding so loved the plums from his trees that he had the house renamed. Thrush Hall became Plum House.
Oh, these jelly bowls are amazing. I was thinking you must have some quite valuable objects here at Plum House. If you don't mind me asking, what are the more sort of prized possessions?
I don't think we've really anything priceless. Maureen picks up a lot of the items at local car boot sales.
Oh, that's a shame. I thought a house like this would have a few, treasures on display.
Well, I'm sure a fan of pudding would pay big money for some of the items, but as you can see from our attendance today, they're rather hard to come by.
Hey, hope I'm not interrupting.
What on earth are you wearing, Julian? Are those tracksuit bottoms from the Lost Property box?
Sorry, I think you've got me mixed up with someone else, love. I'm Mike, just a completely average bloke, having a nosy at your museum.
Oh, hello, Mike. I'm Martin.
Hello, mate. Anyway, don't mind me. Love a pint, love a fag, big football fan. I am just your normal, run-of-the-mill northern member of the public. So, carry on. How's the work?
Julian, what are you doing?
So, Martin, now that we're pals, tell me a bit more about yourself.
Me? Oh, well, I quite like walking and history and...
Aye, great. Champion. So, what do you do for a living?
Well, I have an office job in London, but it does involve the odd bit of travelling around the country, which is nice.
Of course it does. Familiar with the National Heritage Trust at all?
Well, yes, I've heard of them, obviously, but I wouldn't say that...
How are you finding the museum, Martin? Out of 10? Got lots of comments?
Sorry, you lost me, actually.
What are you talking about, Julian?
I've told you, my name's Mike, but you can call me Mick.
That's it, I've had enough of this. Stay here, Martin. I just quickly need to get to the bottom of this.
Righto.
I should probably be getting back as well, actually. Just for the record, I've actually heard that most of the visitors here say it's the best museum they've ever been to.
Oh, really?
Reet grand. All down to the deputy curator, apparently, some Julian lad. He definitely deserves his own nice paragraph.
Yes. Oh, I'll bear that in mind.
And thinking about it, if the Trust did shut the museum down, that Julian would be very deserving of a job down head office in that London.
Sorry.
See you around. Cocker.
A strange bunch.
Here you are, love. That postcard you wanted. I won't even charge you extra for all the gift wrapping.
Oh, right. Yes. That's quite a big bag for a postcard, isn't it? Oh, what's this on the side? Yeah.
I've written your name in glitter. Had some left over from decorating our collection box.
Oh, personalised. That's very thoughtful. Although I hate to say it, but my name's actually Martin.
Yes, that's what it says.
Oh, it looks more like Mortin with an O.
No, it doesn't.
Well, it does a bit.
Why would I think you were called Mortin? Who's called Mortin?
Well, I don't know. My name's Martin.
I know it is. That's why I've written it on the side.
It just looks a bit more like an O.
Give it here. You're not getting anything now. Forget it. I don't care what you say in your review. You were always going to stick the knife in.
What review?
What is going on?
Oh, you don't want to know.
It seems to be fancy dress and act like an idiot day, but I must have missed the memo.
Mission accomplished.
Our top undercover agent returns, and it sounds like success sings her sweet song.
Let's just say he didn't suspect I'm deputy curator of this museum.
Julian, I've never suspected you're deputy curator of this museum.
All our fears were founded. He is definitely a reviewer from the Trust.
What?
He couldn't hide it from old Jules. Started blabbing like a baby.
No, Julian, the Trust would never send a reviewer without giving us plenty of notice before...
How dare they send some undercover operative to besmirch my reputation? 30 years I've been curator of Plum House, and to treat...
Knock, knock. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Just wanted to say that I've actually got to go now, Emma. So thanks for the tour. Thank you.
Why, you sneaky, deceitful blackguard.
Sorry?
Okay, calm down, Peter. I really...
You can run back to Mother and tell nasty tales about Plum House and finish us off for good. You're very much mistaken. I will jump before I'm ever pushed. Do you hear me? I'll jump!
Martin, are you an undercover reviewer sent from the National Heritage Trust?
No, I'm not.
You sure?
Well, I only popped in because I just happened to be driving past.
Well, I think you owe this man an apology. Both of you.
He might be lying. Perhaps the trust have told him to pretend.
Julian!
Sorry, Martin.
And I can only apologise as well. I fear old Peter's made a bit of a fool of himself, like when I heckled Yehudi Menuhin over a misunderstanding of what key Elgar's violin concerto was in.
I can finish off that tour,
I
Martin.
think I just want to get going, actually.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Right, well, bye then. Probably won't come back in a hurry.
Perhaps not our finest hour.
Yeah.
Hold on. He's getting there. He seems to be smiling. I think we might have a record breaker.
Yes, I think that's your best chocolate tiffin to date, Maureen.
I knew it was a good un.
We're talking high sixes, low sevens for this one.
Is that it?
Are we even going to discuss yesterday, guys? I mean, that was our first visitor in weeks, and we managed to drive him away.
You're right, Tom. I think we'd best give ourselves a little pat on the bottom. It wasn't our finest hour.
Well, you know how disappointed I am about the whole affair. But at least we can now get back to the most important issue, fixing the roof. Now, where's Alan?
Oh, the last time I saw him, he was on the roof trying to plug a hole with some of Maureen's tiffin from yesterday.
Oh, there's still plenty left.
If I'd known about its other uses, I might have marked it up a little.
See, with the £700 from the electricity budget, we should be able to fix the roof once and for all.
Dark times lie ahead.
Yes, yeah, we're going to have to use candlelight for a little while, but hey, at least we'll be dry. At least we'll have a roof over our heads.
I don't believe it!
What is it, Alan?
You haven't fallen through the roof again, have you?
Spit it out, man.
The collection box with the roof money, it's gone!
What?
What, the whole 700 quid?
Who could have done...
Martin.
Hello, sorry to bother you.
And not a good time.
Yeah, we've just had some terrible news.
Oh dear. Well, I've come from the Trust to do a little spot check review.
From the trust... No, they would have to
I don't
give
suppose
warning.
anybody could give me a little tour, could they?
Would you like a bit of free chocolate tiffin, love? Plum House was written by Ben Cottam and Paul McKenna. It starred Simon Callow, Jane Horrocks and Miles Jupp, with Tom Bell, Piers Quigley and Louise Ford, with special guest appearance by Kevin Eldon as Martin. The producer was Paul Schlesinger, and it was a hat-trick production for the BBC.